Hey everyone, this is Terrence Aqua. I'm here to discuss my capstone. I know you guys are just as excited as I am to finish up this class, so I'm gonna do this as quick as possible, and hopefully you guys will be a little bit entertained. So let's get right into it. I'm doing my capstone on community opinions of arenas. I'd also like to inform you I'm including stadiums into this. So the reason why I picked this topic is because of the controversy surrounding DePaul relocating from the Allstate Arena to the McCormick Place, where they will be building a new facility as part of a large redevelopment plan. A lot of people are against this because they feel like taxpayer dollars should not be used to fund a new arena when the Rosemont was just fine. And there's so much other stuff where we should be putting our money to, like keeping some schools open and more police officers in the street. But DePaul official and Rahm Emanuel believe the stadium, along with the other proposed plans in that area, can create a large economic impact and bring a lot of money to the area. I am along with the critics that believe arenas don't create a large economic impact. And I really want to gauge opinions of citizens that live in arenas about how beneficial arenas and stadiums have been for them, whether it's been economical or social. So, moving along to my literature review, I have found that most authors also concur that there aren't many economical advantages of a stadium and arena. In fact, they seem to recycle money and kind of lose money for cities that have these structures located within them. For example, a one theory that suggests this is the substitution effect. This theory suggests that, for instance, if a family were to go to a minor league baseball game located in a smaller city, they would simply just be recycling money that could have been spent at a movie theater or a restaurant or a bowling alley. So they're really just recycling money. So, so another theory is the leakage effect. An example of this is an athlete who plays for the team that is located in the area where the arena is. Usually, this athlete does not live in this area. He lives in surrounding areas. So the money he makes is being spent elsewhere instead of into the city, and these athletes usually make a decent amount of money. So they're really not retaining this money. And a last theory that intrigued me was the non-economical impact. Some authors suggest that arenas do create an impact, but it's non-economical. This impact is more of a civic pride, like it creates unity with the citizens because they're able to rally around their own team because this is really their homegrown team. So I have developed some theories on why citizens might not support arenas and stadiums. One of them is because of the publicity of the major failures that have happened to some cities. For instance, the Miami Marlins. They built a $640 million facility, and now the city of Miami is on the hook for about $1 billion. And Bridgeview, which is a little bit closer to home, has really been suffering, and I will talk more in detail about them. Another one is sporting complexes are built without considering the current, future needs and demographics of the community. A lot of these communities really don't want, I mean, they love to have, these sporting facilities, but there's just other needs that need to be addressed, whether it's social needs or infrastructure needs. And really, baseball team is not really the closest thing on their mind right now. So I'll go into some quick hypotheses that I've developed and what I plan to test for. So some quick hypotheses that I've developed is the first one is citizens do not support government spending on arenas due to the lack of economic impact it creates for cities. I also believe minorities would rather see tax dollars spent on improving infrastructure and social issues instead of on sporting facilities. I also believe Bridgeview residents will have a ill feel. So the first hypothesis that I've come up with is citizens do not support government spending on arenas due to the lack of economic impact it creates for the city. The next one is minorities would rather see tax dollars spent on improving infrastructures and social issues instead of on supporting facilities. I should let you guys know I'll also be doing a case study. It's on Bridgeview, and I feel like Bridgeview residents will have ill feelings towards local government due to the financial situation they're in. And Gary, Indiana citizens do not support the baseball stadium due to declining interest. How I plan to test for these is, like I said, do a case study. I did a survey in Bridgeview, which is home to Toyota Park, Gary, which is home to U.S. Steel, and Hoffman Estates, which is home to the Senior Center. I asked about 12 different questions. I went to local businesses and grocery stores, and I also distributed out some through friends and people to forward to those who live in these designated areas. I also did interviews with city managers and residents. So, moving forward, briefly about Toyota Park. It was built in around 2002 with a $135 million bond. It's been suffering ever since. The city is really hitting hard times right now financially. They borrowed $100 million, and now they're in debt, $230 million, and now the uh, taxpayers will probably see their property tax rise more than $7 million. And it doesn't help that there's also been word of corruption amongst those who are in charge, who brokered the deal. So moving on to my quantitative findings, I picked specific questions that might gather some interest to people. So I had 62 total responses from my survey, 25 from Gary, 17 from Bridgeview, and 20 from Hoffman Estates. I still plan on gathering more surveys as I conclude my capstone. So one of the questions I asked, and this was to Gary residents, I just pulled the numbers from Gary, was do you support using citizens' tax dollars to fund an arena or stadium? 48% they strongly oppose, 24 said oppose. So as you can see, they're really against it. When I went out there, a lot of individuals were just really bashing it because they don't understand why there would be a baseball stadium in Gary when Gary needs so many other things because of the crime rate out there and the economic woes they face. And frankly, the black youth really isn't into baseball as much as in previous years. I also asked this question in Bridgeview, and this was, do you hold any ill feelings towards the local government due to the financial situation in the city? I thought without a doubt they would be very mad, but I found that to be wrong. A lot of them really didn't have any bad feelings and really didn't care. If you can see, 41% said no. What I got from my interviews with residents there was before the Toyota Park came, it was really nothing going on over there. Now there's many concerts there. The Chicago fire has brought the community together, and there's been a large increase of Hispanic population, which has really been good for the diversity in the area. So surprisingly, Bridgeview may be doing bad financially, but socially, it's really a catalyst for change in the area. So this is crosstabs of my hypothesis where I stated minorities would be against using tax dollars to support or fund a stadium. As you can see, my hypothesis is correct. Most of the minorities strongly oppose or are opposed to funding stadiums with tax dollars compared to Caucasians, which really support it. But surprisingly, a lot of the races in general are neutral to the idea. Most really don't have any strong feelings, and I got that through my interviews as well. A lot of people weren't as strongly had any strong opinions as I thought they would. Most people, I don't want to say didn't care. Most people, it really didn't seem to bother them, and it's very surprising to me. My the quantitative findings is where I really found some interesting stuff. I was able to interview city managers and local businesses and residents. What I learned from the city managers is most of them admit that arenas and stadiums really don't create any major economic impact. They're not there to create any revenue. They're there as enjoyment for the citizens. Most of them admitted that right now, they were struggling in the past, but they are improving with the economy. And most of them were built in the downtown areas to draw people to the downtown region. They weren't there to, provide any more money for the city. The major thing that I found was with the Bridgeview residents, like how much they were in arms about the Toyota Park. They were so supportive of it. They really enjoy it, and they were happy to claim it. This was a rallying point for them. And with all the debt and higher property taxes they will pay in the future, it really didn't seem to bother them. And the changing demographics, a lot of people, especially city managers, admitted to me like, they didn't anticipate the changing demographics. For instance, in Bensonville, it's now has a high Hispanic population, and they have an ice arena there, and they find it that none of the Hispanic population want to go there, and it's really been hurting them over there. So, in conclusion, and let me remind you, this is a working conclusion. I found that most citizens are really indifferent regarding their opinions on arenas. Some enjoy them, some don't, but it's really not an issue to them. If you like it, you're there, will go. But if they don't, they just will simply avoid it. They understand that's a cost they will have to incur even if they don't go. And another conclusion I came up with it is very important that the needs of a community is addressed before building a facility. Like, especially in Gary, that's where I came across some strong opinions. They really want some change, and they really were disappointed when the stadium was built. But in all, I hope to find some more interesting things. So thank you guys again.